Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't posted I think the last video that went up was maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And that video I was actually about almost 2 weeks ahead on filming videos. So, actually haven't filmed anything other than a couple little TikToks that I posted in a while. And that is because, got my frozen Pepsi. There's no easy way to say this other than to just say it, and that is that my brother died. Most of you know that my brother had moved in with me. It was only a few months ago, I think. He was having a lot of health issues, and he was trying to simplify his life, downsize. He owned a building in Rhinebeck, Iowa. He had a shop in it, and he lived there. And that just wasn't going to be feasible anymore. So he was in the process of selling that, and it was a big building, and it was full. So in that time, he moved in here. I think the hope was that eventually his health would stabilize and he would probably want to find someplace on his own. He did not like living here in the city. It was too noisy. But since I had the house, it was fine for him to move in. Unfortunately, first weeks, it seemed like he was doing pretty well, and then his health just took another turn for the worst. And it was just one thing after another that happened. I'm not going to go into the details of everything because that's not my business to share. But yeah, most people, if they had one of his ailments, wouldn't have made it, and he had a lot. But he was just pushing through and trying to make it. But unfortunately, he went in for an outpatient procedure and ended up on a ventilator and just wasn't able to recover. I know that'll be the question. Did he die here at the house? He did not. He was in the hospital. He does have 4 grown adult children. So they've been handling everything that you have to handle when someone passes away. And my brother had a lot of stuff. And, you know, when my dad died, he'd long ago sold everything. I took care of everything for him. So when he passed, it was a fairly streamlined process actually the lawyer said he doesn't even really have an estate because he doesn't own property or anything. Everything had already been taken care of. But that's not this way. And it's probably not that way for most people when they pass. So, I've made an appointment with my lawyer next week because I now need to update my beneficiaries because it was my dad and then my brother, and I need to change my will. But his kids have been handling everything really well, and they know I'm here if they need me. But like I said, there's 4 of them. 3 of them are married with children. So, they have been doing that. They had a visitation for him. They planned that. That was really nice. Was it earlier this week? My days are still messed up. Earlier this week, and we're all there for that. It was nice because it wasn't a sad event. My brother worked in concrete most of his adult life, and so he knows all the construction guys, and they all came through, and grandkids were there, of course, and so it was actually just a nice time for everybody to be together, and, you know, so unlike, you know, when you have a full funeral and it's just so hard to get through, and my brother wouldn't have wanted that either. So this was a nice, I think more people are doing that too, not having the full blown funerals, and this was just really nice. My niece did a really good job putting pictures and everything up. And like I said, he knew a lot of people. So a lot of people sent flowers and plants and everything. So, yeah. His dog, Kay, I do want to talk about that. One of my nephews came and got Kay. My brother was still in hospital. He was on a ventilator. And he came and picked Kay up because he said he had told his dad that if anything happened that they would take Kay. My brother never told me that. He acted like he had to find somebody for Kay. I think in the last, he was so sick. I think he was confused. He'd forget things. But my nephews came and got Kay. When I tell you, she was so happy to see him. She knows him. She stayed with them before. This is the dad of my grandniece, Sophie. And she knows them. They live in a small town in the country, and they have a huge fenced-in backyard. 2 dogs, Kay's size, for her to play with. His wife works from home. So there all day, and her parents own a farm down the road. So there's lots of people, animals, activity. She never has to be alone, or when she was here, she just was always looking for my brother. And she was so sad. When my nephew came, she was like, ah! If she could talk, she would have been like, ah, take me. She just wasn't happy. And there, she's doing so much better. She was just vocalizing and so excited to see him. I helped get her out to his car. She jumps in the car. I opened the door to say goodbye to her, and she just gave me this look like, I'm out here, lady. Sophie is kind of taking her under her wing. So it's almost like she's kind of Sophie's dog now. And I know that would make my brother very, very happy that someone had to take his dog, that one of the grandkids have it. And so hopefully she will settle in there and just be happy. It really is the best case scenario for one of the kids to have gotten her. So that is a huge relief for that. And so I kind of haven't been knowing what to do with myself. His kids are handling everything, like I said. And here at the house, he only had clothes, food, and his medications. Kids already came and got the clothes. We got rid of medications. He got rid of the food. So it's really just his clothes here now. And I've been kind of packing those up for them. So they took a little bit. One of the nephews and then one of his grandsons took a few things. But yeah, there's, that. His truck is still here. I think they're coming to get that Sunday, and they can take what is left and decide if they want to keep it, donate it. So yeah, so now it's just me again in the house. So yeah, I lost my dad and my brother, both within the last year. And my brother was my last immediate family member. My mom died when I was 6 of cancer. I had an older brother, Danny. Danny was 13 years older than I was, and he was profoundly intellectually disabled. He died when I was 9. We think of an aneurysm. Back then, he didn't really know as much, but I'm pretty sure it was an aneurysm. And so then it was just me and my dad. Now, my brother Todd, who just passed away, he was 10 years older than me. So he had left home and married by the time he was like 19. So his 2 oldest are only 9 years younger than me. He had 2 children with his first wife. They divorced. And then later on, he married a second wife, and she had 2 children from a previous marriage. That man wasn't around. My brother raised those as his own. So the 4 kids there. And then it was just me and my dad for, together. And now it's just me. My parents and both siblings are gone. So it's kind of when you're younger than everybody else, and everybody else was older, which would make sense. If you're younger than everybody else, they're older. Yeah, so I'm kind of like young feeling to be without family, but it is what it is. What can you do? So yeah, I have just been honestly not doing that much. Yesterday I was like, I gotta get up and I gotta start. I gotta do something. I gotta get back to living. I am going to transform my dad's room, where my brother was staying as well, into my office space. Some of you know my office is in the back of the house, next to my bedroom. I'm going to take all the reselling stuff back to the basement, and I'm going to move my dad's bedroom furniture into my office and make that into just a second bedroom. But it's a big room, so I also have a lot of furniture storage pieces, and I'm like, that is perfect because I can make it look nice, but yet it can also hold a lot of, things that we have. And so that's kind of my project I'm working on. I did tell myself I can only do one thing a day, because yesterday I moved my desk, and that was a big mistake because it is solid wood, and I don't know. Anyway, so I told myself, do one thing a day, take one tote downstairs a day, move one thing a day, and work on it slowly, because it is just me doing it by myself. I do not need to get injured. So yeah, like I said, I need to go and I need to update my will. My biggest fear now is what would happen to my dogs if something happened to me. I already had somebody reach out, you know who you are, that I can put down to take the dogs if something happens. So that's like my biggest fear now, is what would happen to my dog. So I do have somebody, thank God. Not that a niece or nephew might not take them, but when there's 2, that's hard. And Teddy is a lot. Teddy's a lot. Charlie, he'd fit in anywhere. Teddy is just a lot. So I really want somebody that, you know, loves them and has patience. And so it's an awful thing to think about, but you have to. So yeah, that's the update. I do need to get back to filming. YouTube is part of my job. It does bring in some income, but it also helps me, you know, promote other stuff I'm doing. And it is good for me to do it. When my dad died, I think 2 weeks, and then I did get back to it. It just helps. It just helps to keep busy and have something. It's kind of, you know, my brother and I really bonded over the last year over reselling. You know, he had the shop, and but he also had just opened a booth down in the same place I have a booth. He opened his 2 weeks after mine. So I am actually going to take over his booth space. I was already out of room. And so I'm going to be taking over his space. I'll still have the one I have started, and then I'm going to take over his. So that made me feel a little better. Like, obviously bittersweet. I'd rather he was here to do it. But if he can't, and then I'm going to be where his stuff was, even though it wasn't there for long, but that makes sense. So I'm going to keep my booth as like the collectibles booth, and I'm going to use, and then where his spot was, I'm going to put more home decor and jewelry there, kind of separate them a little bit. But I think that's all the updates. It's just been a lot. You know, for me, because I'm not the one responsible, you know, his children are legally for everything. And like I said, they know I'm here if they need me, but they've got it all covered. I haven't really had anything to do other than just kind of sit with everything. And so, but yeah, it's been a couple weeks now, and I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. But I want to come on and get an update and push myself here to get back to creating content. And yeah, I'm getting, you know, with the booth and having more reselling content here. And then I do have that second channel where I've been posting shorter form content. I did go out to the theme park on their opening day. They were open Memorial Day weekend, and then they closed. And then today again, they're open. So on Memorial Day weekend, on that Saturday, I did go out there for just a little bit, and I filmed a little TikTok. And then I filmed a little TikTok yesterday. I got some booth supplies at Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree, but that's the only filming I've done. So yeah, I guess I'll end it here. I don't know what else to say. Again, I'm not going to share like all the details and everything about what he died from and anything too personal. Again, that's not my place to share. He would probably come through the afterlife and strangle me if I said too much. But you guys did know that he lived here and you'd seen Kay. And so I just wanted to give you that update. And yeah, I will hopefully be back with more positive content soon, but that's what's been going on here. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.